We're joined this morning by Pat Hankins, the sheriff of Greene County, who has just finished 7 months on the job. And Pat, first of all, pleasure to have you here with us this morning.
Thanks, Jim. Thanks for having me.
Well, 7 months on the job. Has it felt that long? And are you comfortable at this point? I mean, it's kind of been a whirlwind for you, I can imagine, over these last few months. But have you gotten to a point now where you've kind of gotten everything settled in?
No, I wouldn't say that. I am feeling more comfortable with the job, but it's still a huge learning process and still a lot of things out there to learn and a lot of things yet I still want to change. And it's really been an experience.
Well, one of the first experiences you certainly had to deal with was getting the jail recertified, and obviously that process went through in early December. How's that gone since the recertification has happened? How have things been operating at the jail and at the workhouse since then?
Jim, I think it's been working a whole lot smoother. I've seen just great improvement down there, and even talking to the inmates, they've talked to me and said how much more that they're liking it as far as the food that's been fed and just the different things that we've changed. And talking to the attorneys that come down there, it's a whole different atmosphere in there, and we've changed a lot of it.
Some of the other things that you've been working on include trying to save money in the budget. Of course, as everyone knows, the county's had some trying to save money, save a penny here and a penny there, and your department has certainly done its part or tried to do its part to save. What are some of the cost savings that you've been able to realize so far?
Well, of course, it's not a whole lot of what we've done, but one of the biggest cost savings that we've seen this year, and the whole Greene County's seen this, is the cost of fuel going down, and that's in a budget that I have like that. That is a huge savings, and has helped us out a whole lot. And although we've hired some other people for the jail, that eliminated a lot of our overtime cost. It's actually saved us about $3,000 a month, and it's just been good for us that way. We've been looking for other resources to get money as far as grants. I have an officer that is studying to be an attorney. Will be with the Greenville Sheriff's Department probably another year before he graduates, and he is our grant writer, and we made him just a full-time grant writer, and that's working out pretty good for us. Got several grants here lately.
What are some of the other initiatives that you're working on to try and improve almost quality of life issues? Of course, certainly, drugs have always been an issue with folks in the county, and trying to crack down on that. What are some of the things that your department's trying to do to help people feel safer and more comfortable in their homes and out and about?
Well, one of the things that we've changed, Jim, if people's noticed that there's a lot more officers on the road issuing tickets. The fatality rate in Greene County has always been high. I hope that we can reduce that, although we didn't start out too well in January. But I think that overall that by the end of the year that you'll see the fatality rate go down. The officers are issuing tickets for speeding and other misdemeanor type offenses that are occurring, but we got a grant to get some radar units, and I'm encouraging the men to get out there and slow traffic down. But what this really does, besides slowing down our fatality rate on accidents, and we have seen accidents slow down some, but also I've seen from the blue lights turning, people don't know where we're going to be, and they see the blue lights out there. They know we're out there, but they just don't know where we're at. And we've seen our burglaries, a fall in burglaries already, and theft. And I think that all goes back to people seeing us on these back roads and seeing blue lights turning and knowing that we're there.
Are there any plans to deploy any unmarked vehicles in the near future?
No unmarked vehicles that we have in my plans.
Just talk about some of the drug issues. Obviously, the Third Judicial Drug Task Force is always on the prowl, looking for folks who are doing things. And how closely are you working with them and your department working with them to try and crack down on some of the major drug operations that take place?
Well, we're in contact just about every day. the drug task force is really working. We have started a new thing with the drug task force. It's drug interdiction. You may see us out on the interstate trying to stop drugs come in. And back in my campaign, I talked about that we wanted to be a proactive instead of a reactive sheriff's department, and we are heading in that direction. And to be out doing drug interdiction is definitely a proactive. We want to stop them before they get into Greene County. And just in the last 2 or 3 weeks, we have made some major drug busts here in Greene County. And it's really, I mean, it seems like there's a drug dealer on every corner anymore, but we're fighting it and fighting it hard.
One of the programs that you were always a big champion of was what was known as drug court. It's now recovery court. And just, explain a little bit about that program that for people who may not be aware of it. It's obviously something that's been in place now for a few years, but that's been seeing very good results over time, hasn't it?
It has. I've been involved with drug court since the beginning of drug court, and it's changed my thinking a whole lot. But once I was asked to be on drug court, I'll tell you that at that time it was Chief Jones called me into his office, and Tom Wright, and they said that we wanted to come up with a program to help people and to maybe keep them out of jail. And I didn't understand that at that time. I told them, I said, listen, it's my job to put them in jail, not get them out of jail. But I have really changed my thinking after being in this program. And although that we put them in there, we don't want to see them to come back. It's all the jail is a revolving door. And we've started a lot of programs now down at the jail that is going on now to help people, and that we're very proud of. And some of these programs, each Sunday, we're taking 10 inmates to church. People probably don't know that, but we're actually loading them up and taking them out to Bridges Chapel Church, and they've been working with us, and that has really turned out to be a great ministry. We've got Kim Gass coming down and working and trying to get people that don't have a GED that's in jail to get them a GED and maybe prepare them a little bit more once they get out of jail to get a job. And the newest thing that we've got going on, and this is a huge thing for Greene County, working with Kim Gass, we have started a program that we are teaching the inmates in there to be able to go to a factory and start working. And DTR has partnered with us, and this month of April, we will put our first inmates actually in to a place of working, to a factory. And these inmates, while they're in there and they're in jail, will be able to start paying off their fines. If they owe some people money, like bad checks or whatever, to pay restitution, and they'll be able to save money. Most inmates, when they get out of jail, their family, they've gone down this road so long it is pretty much disowned them. They don't have any place to go, and this will actually, they can start a savings account, and once they get out of jail, they'll be able to rent an apartment and maybe establish themselves, and they will have a job when they come out of jail. This job is just not while they're in jail, but it carries over to once they're out of jail. And I think that is going to be fantastic for Greene County. And tell you just a little bit more about that, I know we went to, Kim Gass did, and went to the Department of Employment Nashville and the governor and told them about this job. And as she was driving back home, we got a call and said, hey, we like what you're talking about. We can't find a program like this anywhere in the United States, but we think it'll work. And I said, could you use $40,000 to get this program started? And of course, we were thrilled to death. And it's been able to get us like a 21st century classroom, got us 10 computers to train the inmates on, and it's got us off. And they're going to use this as a pilot program for the rest of the state and hopefully the United States, and I hope this works out, and I believe it will.
Other programs that, of course, there's the work release as well, and inmates getting out on some work details, going out and picking up trash or other jobs. And how's that? Has that been continuing to be successful for you?
It is very much. People's had the men come by picking up trash on their road, and they love to see that. And we've got 2 crews that do that full time right now. We have been talking to the state, hopefully, to get that increased. I would like to put another crew out on the road. And also with the over in the mountains, starting the middle of April, we got a grant from the federal government for the park services in the mountains, and it's normally a 100-day program. They increased this year. They liked what we were doing, and has increased that to 123 days. So that is a very good program, and it is working great and makes Greene County look a lot better.
And when those men and women come back to the custody, they are met by a new 4-legged deputy that you have on patrol here, a dog that recently you guys were able to come into ownership of. It's working out for you. How's the dog going?
Well, the dog just started last week full-time working at the jail. It's been in training, but the dog's name is Sig. He is a Malinois that came from California. It was a rescue dog that people got in contact with us and said that we've got these dogs and would like for you to try them. And they went through a trainer that a gentleman that we actually hired out of Washington County, Scotty Greene, is just fantastic with working with dogs, and he's trained this dog for us. And this dog, I think, will really, really help contraband getting back into jail. That's all it's going to be used for, is the jail and to go out on work sites where we have our inmates working. But we actually have got 55 inmates going out a day right now. And there's more possibility of drugs coming back into the jail. But I think with our new K-9 unit on patrol now that we will see a decrease in this.
One resource that your deputies have now, and folks who may have come across them recently noticed that they've been carrying tasers now, and that was an acquisition that your department was able to make. And everyone now has a taser, I assume. All the deputies have one now, or how many do you have?
Well, we're at 27 right
Okay.
now. We don't have a taser for all deputies. That's something that we are working toward. Just take us some time, but this money to buy these tasers, they're approximately $1,000 a piece to buy one, pretty expensive. But we got the money from the sale of vehicles that had been seized in use of drug activity. And as we go along in the future, I hope that we can buy some more. But a taser is, I was familiar with the taser and had used them at the city, and the city's had tasers for 4 or 5 years now, and now then we have them, and I think that they will be a big asset to the Greene County Sheriff's Department.
One other asset that you've been using also too is some social media. I know that the Sheriff's Department Facebook page has been posting information about inmates who you may be looking for, or folks that maybe have committed crimes that you've been looking for. Is that something that your department is trying to be a little more active in, and trying to seek the public's help and bring people to justice?
It is. In the next 2 months, I hope we have been working to get a tip line, and we've got some phone people working on that to get us another phone line in down there, and I hope to have that going in a couple of months. But social media is so big anymore that we have been posting people's pictures and names that we're looking for, and it has really worked out great for us. We get a lot of help out of that. And another thing, you've seen Monday's Most Wanted on Channel 11. We're going to start using that in the future, and help from the public. We've got to have the help from people out there to make this work. If we all work as a team, it just makes life much easier.
One issue that's been ongoing for several months, and the people have heard certainly if very familiar with it, is the ongoing construction of the pipeline from the Nolichucky River up to the U.S. nitrogen plant on Pottertown Road. Folks who've been traveling up Fish Hatchery Road or McDonald Road may have seen deputies out there, guarding the site. Just explain a little bit about what your department is offering to them and how that's all come about, and just and for any misconceptions that the public may have about what's going on with your department down there.
Well, Jim, this started whenever they started putting in the pipeline. They called me and was requesting 4 officers a day to be down there, and it was just my budget could not handle that. Our budget didn't have that built into it. We couldn't pay the overtime. We had to provide them with a service, but we didn't have as much as what they were needing. We talked to them and negotiated with them a $50 an hour fee, which that covers the officer working down there, and it also covers the cost of having a police car down there, a sheriff's car. And this was a service that we had to provide, but we didn't have the money to do it. And with the help of U.S. Nitrogen partnering with us, they have been paying pretty much the overtime that it would take for having an officer down there, and it's worked out very well for them and also very well for my officers to give them extra money and help. But I know that we took a lot of criticism over that, but really, if you step back and look at the big picture, it could have cost the county as much as about $150,000, and instead we're probably have made somewhere around $70,000 that has come back to the department that I'm actually want to put into a savings account to work on a project that I want to in the future that I've told people about.
When we had the snow and ice, obviously there was a lot of accidents and the roads weren't always in the best shape. How did your department come through that and try and manage the road closure situations and everything else that happened with those snow and ice storms? I'm sure that was a pretty hectic few days for your department.
It was. We have some old 4-wheel drive vehicles that I asked the officers to use during that time. If something happens that we would wreck a vehicle or tear one up, it wouldn't be as bad, costly for the county. And then the 4-wheel drive enables us to get around a little bit better. And in all that, luckily, we did damage one vehicle, and about $700. A vehicle was actually parked and another car ran into the back of us. But the roads was extremely terrible during that time, and we come out very well by just only damaging one.
Is there anything else that you or your department is working on right now, or anything else that you want to share with the public here while you have the chance?
Well, the one part where I talked about that we were saving the money, our department, what we're wanting to do, if you're standing outside looking in at our department, yes, we've got very nice vehicles, but our equipment inside, we're extremely way behind. We're one of the only departments in the state of Tennessee still doing paper reports. One thing that I'd mentioned in my campaign that I wanted to do was to bring us up to speed of where the surrounding counties are and where the city police department. And I've been working with Chief Cannon, and he's been very good to us and helping us out on a lot of programs, and we've just got a great working relationship. And this program that I'm wanting to do is tie us in with their computer system. And he's going to allow that and is going to save us a lot of money tying in with the city. And we're going to be able to take this money that I put in this savings account. We don't have enough yet, but I hope within another year that we can implement that program and start getting new software and working toward updating our computer system and for the officers' safety that the city has and all the surrounding counties, and link us all together where it'll work out much better for all surrounding counties and the Greene County Sheriff's Department.
Well, with everything that you've shared with us here in the last 20 minutes or so, it's amazing the amount of time and effort that goes into that position as sheriff. You've got multiple irons in the fire at any given time, and I'm sure it's been a whirlwind, like I said before. But I'm sure that it's moving forward. Things are going to be, once everything comes together for you and for the department, and some of the plans continue to move in, that it's going to be really good for the folks of Greene County.
I think it will be, and we've got some excellent people in there working. Our new jail administrator, Roger Willett, and Chief Deputy that's helping us out, Ray Allen. They're covered up and working hard all the time too.
Sheriff Pat Hankins, Greene County Sheriff's Department, we thank you very much for your time, and hopefully we'll be able to chat every now and then to keep the folks updated on what's going on in law enforcement in the county.
Thank you, Jim.